Hey everybody, welcome to Banjo Quest. I'm done with Fiddle Hell. What a great week that was. But now I'm back and we are in the throes of learning Darlin Corey. We have stretched this module out because Darlin Corey deserves it and so do you. So we're going to go into depth here with an advanced version that I want you guys to try. So one of the things I've done in Darlin Corey is I've picked 3 things I wanted to change about our beginning version, and then I put them throughout the tune. So I picked 3 techniques that I wanted to showcase in our new version. The 3 techniques are M skips, which is just a downstroke skip, alternate string pull-offs, and sweeps. So you're gonna see how all of these are deployed in an advanced version of Darlin Corey while preserving that same basic melody that we learned in the beginning version. So I'm going to play through the entirety nice and slow, and then I'm going to break down the high points for you. And there is one technique in there that I threw in for you absolute experts, and we'll work through that at the very end of the video. All right, let's get started on the advanced version of Darlin Corey. All right, here it is nice and slow. 1, 2. All right, so we're gonna take each one of these technique families in turn and go through the tune, and then we'll talk about that advanced oddball technique on measure 9. So let's talk about these M skips or phantom downstrokes. Phantom downstrokes is probably the preferred way to talk about them these days because M stands for middle finger, and I know there are a lot of index finger players out there. You guys may want to call them I skips. It doesn't matter, they're all the same thing. Skipping the downstroke purposefully, missing your throw, and then creating this rest stroke in a measure. So look at measure 2, that's the first full measure. We're just going to play a bum ditty pattern, and we're going to miss the dit of the bum ditty. We're gonna still throw, but we're going to miss the string on purpose. This is a great way to be expressive on the instrument. In fact, if you removed my ability to create dynamics, the second thing I would not want you to take away from me is the ability to skip strings on the downstroke, because I think of this as a way to build space in an arrangement. Really great for expression, atmosphere, and also for backing up vocals or leaving space for your vocals or somebody else's or another musician's playing. If you need space in your playing, the M skips are your bread and butter. Now, you advanced players, make sure you'll hear me when I'm demonstrating stuff. You're gonna hear a little tap. That's my thumb impacting the head right there. I like to do this because it allows beginners to hear where the rest stroke is, but you advanced players, we want to be able to control whether we are interacting with that head. Sometimes that is desirable. You may want that sound, and that's good, or you may want to take that away. So you've got to develop some control with that right hand. You still need to be able to throw and follow through without slapping that head. So a couple things I do is I use this 5th string as a little bit of a stop, so I don't go past it to the head. There's still a little bit of a residual sound there. that's okay. You're not going to get rid of every little bit of that. The other thing you can do if you want to cheat a little bit is you can play it over the scoop, and that automatically eliminates all head sounds from the right hand. And that's a nice little cheat if you just need to get away from that tap, tap, tappy sound of the head. All right, let's move on to the next technique. Our next technique is going to be the almighty aspo, the alternate string pull-off. You can see, let's jump down to measure 5. We've got 2 aspos in a row, and I'm using my ring finger on the 5th fret to get that pull-off. There are 2 pull-offs in measure 5. There's this normal pull-off starting on the open 3rd string. It's a great one to cycle. And then there is this one where we're playing a melody note on the last ditty. And that's why I like using my ring finger on the 5th fret to get that, because my index finger is otherwise occupied heading towards the 3rd fret, 3rd string of that pattern. Now, remember, all of our fretting strategies, our frettiquette, these are soft rules. So if that doesn't work for your hand shape or size, or that makes things feel painful because there is that spread, that whole step spread from 3 to 5 that may be difficult for those of you who have smaller hands, you can figure out another way around it. The reason I'm not playing this 4th fret, because really you're probably thinking, well, it doesn't really matter what fret you pull off from for an alternate string pull-off because you're not sounding the fret. And while yes, that is absolutely true and a very good observation, I might add, good for you, there is a residual. There can be a residual little hammer-on as you set stroke the beginning of your alternate string pull-off. Remember that idea? Our set stroke, where we are using both our fretting hand and our striking hand to set into the instrument at the same time. That is the first stroke of an alternate string pull-off. You can see I designate that with the parentheses and the first note on the 4th string in this case, or the 3rd string on this case. That's our set stroke. So we set, pull, dit, ti, set, pull, dit, ti. That enables us to very finely coordinate right and left hands. Very important for the alternate string pull-off. You don't want to do that set stroke on the 4th fret, I think, because you could get residual tone. That could sound not so nice. If I get residual tone from that 5th fret, well, that's in my pentatonic C minor scale, so it's going to blend really nicely and hide the fact that I may be getting a little bit of a residual sound in my set stroke. Now, ideally, we shouldn't be getting very much sound at all, but look, everybody's in different stages of development here with the aspo, so you may be a little heavy-handed in your left hand, and you may need to cheat and hide those sounds. So I would recommend either choosing the 5th fret to pull off from, or you could try the 3rd fret. Again, it doesn't change the pattern. It does, if you do use that 3rd fret though, it will make getting to the 3rd fret on the next aspo all the more difficult. That's why I'm strategizing it like this. But again, soft rules, strategize the way that suits your playing style, your ability, and your hand dexterity. All right, now let's turn to measure 6 and 7. This is where we deploy the sweep. One of the questions I get about the sweep a lot is, well, I can do it in exercises, but how do I deploy this in a tune situation? Well, I really wanted to show you guys how to do that in Darlin Corey, and there it is on 6 and 7. All a sweep is, at least in my simple brain, is a sweep is a ditty followed by a drop thumb. That's how I categorize it. There may be people out there in the world who think of it different ways. That's totally fine. This is what I've been referring to the sweep for years now, and it's kind of stuck in my brain, and I'm just going to continue to call it what I think it should be called. So, Great way to practice the sweep. Delete the left hand, get the left hand out of the picture, and all you need to do is do a ditty on a low string, ditty, followed by a drop thumb on strings 1 and 2. Practice it faster. Faster. And pretty soon you should be able to get some speed to it. So in this case, we're walking down this little C minor pentatonic scale with the sweep. This is super cool on 6 and 7. Just listen for a second. Now the thing about the sweep is it doesn't really show or reveal its magic until you get some moderately paced tempo behind it. So we probably want to play this more like... Of course, you can get this thing really cooking. So we're just on measure 6, we're just working ditty, drop thumb, ditty, drop thumb, and then we've got this walk down in measure 7, and you guessed it, I am using the breadcrumb rule there to avoid the spider walk. That could be a big stretch for you. If so, feel free to use your little finger. That's fine. And if this stretch or this stretch, if either one of those is giving you pain, is hard, is unpleasant, just not cool for you, that's okay. Just do your spider walk, it's fine. Because that fifth string, if you fan that fifth string, a little secret here, if you fan your fifth string while you go, if you play all ditties, that fifth string is going to sort of hide the flamming that you may get during the spider walk. Okay, finally, let's get to measure 9. This is super weird. We've seen a pattern like this before. Those of you who took Banjo Knot with me, we saw patterns like this, or one pattern in particular. I like these patterns because we are, in effect, inverting the relationship between right and left hands in clawhammer, and I'm going to explain that. So this is a 4-note pattern. This starts with a hammer-on, normal hammer-on, and then we throw in for an M-skip, and we drive up with the slide. It's a subtle little move, and you probably, if you weren't a clawhammer nerd, you'd probably miss it. But I know I'm in good company here, so we care about this. So what you need to do is just do your hammer on as normal, and when you do your M-skip, you slide, you drive with the left hand. And the reason why this is weird is because normally we are doing the left hand motions during an upstroke. Think about the hammer-on in the pickup measure, right? So I'm dropping the hammer on the upstroke, and that's normally the case with left-hand patterns. We've got hammer-ons, we've got pull-offs, we've got slides almost all the time. I would say 98% of the time, 99% of the time, depending on the player. Those left-hand moves happen during upstrokes only. So on measure 9, what I'm trying to show you is that that relationship between the right and left hands, the normal vanilla relationship in clawhammer, that does not have to be the case. We can invert that relationship and move the left hand while doing a downstroke. Very weird, and that is exactly what's happening in measure 9. Work that over slowly. And very deliberately on that drive. And it's just a great workout to give you right and left hand independence. So the ultimate goal for me is maybe not to have a perfect version of that phrase, but for you to reevaluate how the right and left hands are or are not working together and see if you can find phrases in your own repertoire where you could invert that relationship. It's a very exciting way forward for clawhammer. You're going to hear it more and more, I think, as the years go on, because it just points the way forward to some very interesting rhythms and sounds. All right, and to finish this off here today, I'm going to play this up to speed. Yeah, well, this could be up to speed. That's not really fair. This tune sounds great slow, sounds great fast. I'm going to play it a little bit on the fast side with the advanced version. That should give you the overview of it, more up to speed. All right, and that does it for today, but we are not done with Darlin Corey. No, we have one more to go. I'm going to change the sound of Darlin Corey by changing the scale with which we associate it. It's going to be easy. Beginners, don't worry. It's going to be easy. There will be tab provided for that. I'm going to give you this playthrough. We're going to turn this sort of bluesy version into a more ethereal modal version, and I will show you that very soon. And then we're on to the mystery tune that I've been really excited about teaching you guys. I meant to get this all done in October, but life and the banjo gods conspired against me. And what else can you do? You just got to go with it, right? So we're going a little bit deeper than I had planned, but that's good because that's what we do here. So we're almost done with Darlin Corey. There will be one more video on it, and then we will be on to the mystery tune. Work hard, have fun, and I will see you next time on Banjo Quest.